So guys, Sowore don't finish IGP. I mean, Sowore is out to end IGP's career. Before I share with you some of the clips I have, just take a look at what Sowore posted on Twitter. And it says, these two police officers were found to have committed the same infraction by failing to relinquish their positions upon retirement. One, Inspector Linus Okoro, was taken into custody for wrongdoing, while the other, Kayode Ekpa, proceeded to arrest citizens who called out his infractions. This is unfair. Revolution now. Ekpa must go. This is coming from Sowore. So this man, the man by the corner, you know, he was once found wearing a police uniform and going out to, like, you know, present himself as if he's still a serving police officer. But guess what? He was arrested. Possibly he's still in jail. And then Sowore is saying that the same offense has the IGP committed. And instead of him to kind of admit to his wrongdoing, he's busy arresting those who are calling him out. So guys, I want you to take a look at this post by Sowore, these videos. Just take a look for yourself.
This country is finished. But how can you blame police when Tinubu himself will be president? Na thief, na forger, nobody know his age, nobody know where he goes school, nobody know his classmate. Simon Law still go school now, people know him for law school. Tinubu, where he go school? In this court, and I'm saying it without any hesitation, when I was charged for treason, the judge was caught reading WhatsApp message over my bail condition. 29.
Thank you very much, everybody. Asuta continua. Victoria Revolution. We want to do something before we go. Revolution.
I would say I'm doing fine because I can't be fine in a system that impunity has been entrenched as an institution on its own, where an IGP who charged minors for treason because they were asking for good governance, killed peaceful protesters, had the shameless temerity to ask Amnesty International to stop lying about what they did, and National Human Rights Commission reported. And such IG today believes that he has been insulted because Sowore called him illegal IGP. But you can also, I think Nigerians can all see that he's advertising publicly his illegality and illegitimacy. But the important thing is not even just the IGP, it's the system. We cannot continue in such a system and hope that our future holds the dream of Nigeria we have in our minds. Impunity reigns, there will be no progress. And that is why it is very important for all Nigerians to realize this point: there is no sitting on the fence. It's not allowed. We must all rise up and hold these leaders accountable and responsible at all times. Revolution now.
But Rex, some say the police have done the right thing by taking the case to court. Why are you against this move by the police?
Is there any right thing that the police has done from the inception of the APC in this country? Not even today. The police at itself was set up as a constabulary for the royal business of England. And since then till now, they have just been about guiding the bourgeoisie, the elite class. It has never been about policing Nigerians. What of Okoya's son that was spraying money? Has he been charged to court? The videos flying everywhere with the policemen scaling fences with masks, have they been investigated? The ones that one lawyer was killed 2 years ago with her pregnancy of twins, what happened to the policeman? The one who raped a lady inside the police station, what happened to him? So let's stop deceiving ourselves by saying they have done the right thing. There's no right thing about injustice. What they are just doing is normal drama that we are used to. And if we keep deceiving ourselves and expect that these same people who are unrepentant will do the right thing, then we're not ready about our future. Look at Nigerians jackbarring every day. It's not because they don't love this country. They are losing faith, not even in the present, in the future. And some of them are ready to go and wash bomb for their children. So we cannot continue. I don't have anywhere to go to. I don't even have the money to start facilitating Japa. So if I'm here in this country, it's my country. I should feel free. I should have human dignity in my country. How can you imagine children being shot at with live ammunition for asking that we want good governance? Charged to court for treason. Such a country should tell you that even your own News Central, this is News Central, your journalists were attacked in Lagos on air. What did you do about it? What did the police do right about it? Did they charge those people to court? They are the ones who use the same hoodlums around us. So the only problem we've been having in this country since is one, ignorance, and two, fear. When people say they divide us with religion, ethnicity, and that, if we are knowledgeable enough, religion and the rest will not be our problem, because in the Senate House, in the National Assembly, Christian, Muslim, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, they all dwell there. They share SUVs without any problem. When Tinubu increased their constituency allowance, they forgot their party lines. They were all singing, "On your mandate we shall stand." What about us? We, these oppressed people, when we decide that we too want to be united, already our sufferings are uniting us. Look at hunger, look at fuel, look at groundnut oil. So we must come to that point where we, you, the media, the security agencies, the civilians, must realize that Nigeria's liberation has become a responsibility for us.
Now, let me just cut you short here.
Yes.
Let me cut you short here. You made some demands. Can we get one or two of those demands?
We want, first of all, we must stop rewarding impunity. IGP Ekpa should resign or be fired. The other PPRO, who is very, very unprofessional, should the what Ademuyiwa something jobby. He should be Prince Moyewan on Twitter. He should resign or be fired from that position. He's bringing serious disrepute to the Nigerian state. Then Omoyele Sowore should be released unconditionally and immediately and be apologized to, very importantly. So we want to send a very clear message to the government that it's not just about Sowore. Nigerians are tired. There are just a lot of them who are so scared. They don't want to die. They don't want to. But already, if you look at people who have died from banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism, it's more in just the last 3 months. It's more than the people who have died from protesting since 1960.
The former presidential candidate, Omoyele Sowore, was arrested after he confronted police officers who had stopped his vehicle at a checkpoint in Lagos. Well, in a new twist of events, the activist, in a post on X, said that he's now being charged for cybercrime for calling the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, an illegal IGP. Let me read his post on X. Omoyele wrote, "I, Yele Sowore, claimed IG of Nigeria Police Force Kayode Egbetokun was illegal and incompetent. Then he, Egbetokun, quickly moved to court to file cybercrime charges with incorrect spellings of Showore's first name, Omoleye, instead of Omoyele, and wrong spelling of insight instead of insight." I wrote insight. Well, he also wrote another tweet saying, "These have to be some of the most ridiculous charges ever filed by Nigerian law enforcement agents. Yele Sowore to face charges for calling police retired and fired IGP Kayode Egbetokun illegal IGP. Chai, Nigeria, which was initially diminished, is now finished." Omoyele Sowore has a way with words, really, on Twitter. But, I mean, was he tweeting from... is he in detention at this point? I mean,
at the last time we heard...
Only yesterday we were talking. I thought that he was...
in detention.
So maybe somebody is tweeting on his behalf. But, I mean, the issue of cybercrime. I mean, I think I should ask Dr. Abati about
Let me
this.
just make a comment about
quickly.
Dr. Abati can give us the legal angle.
Okay.
And I do think we need to examine this Cybercrime Act, because it's been used a lot, unfortunately, as a weapon for people who want to express themselves using social media, especially activists or people who are seen to speak against the government. There's still a number of outstanding cases which we brought to the table here, and I don't think anything has been done. Remember that lady who was accused of raining courses on the president's son, and because of that was picked up in Lagos and transported to Abuja. It's the same case as a number of people, innocent young people, in this case, activists like Omoyele Sowore, who are targeted using this Cybercrime Act. And that's why I'm saying that it is now a dichotomy between Cybercrime Act and freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and just being able and stifling that for a lot of Nigerians, and using it as a weapon, no longer as an arm of the law, but as a weapon to target certain people. That's what it's looking like. And unfortunately, what you do when you do things like that is that you make people like these heroes, and people begin to come out, and then there's a whole rebellion, which is what we're trying to avoid. So I do think that we need to critically assess and look at the merits of that act and see areas where there are loopholes that are not straightforward, where people or law enforcement agencies can use it as a tool to target certain individuals.
Okay, very quickly. The Cybercrime Act of 2015 has been very controversial. We have had occasions in the past to say that the police is abusing it. Every little thing, they will say Section 24 of the Cybercrime Act, and that's the same thing that they are using this time around. Well, is the application appropriate now or not? In the charge sheet, and I think Sowore is in court this morning, they are saying, one, he was threatening to incite Nigerians. Two, he referred to Ekpa as an illegal Inspector General of Police. And third, he said with the illegality of the IGP, he's likely to face NSAS protest part 2. That exactly is what the charge sheet that I read was saying. However, clearly, the Ekpa as Inspector General of Police is not an illegal IGP. He's in that position, having been appointed to it by the President, Commander-in-Chief, and also the Police Council. And everybody knew of that. But that's basically what they are relying on. The other issue that came up yesterday was that Sowore rejected the conditions for the administrative bill that the police was offering him. And I pointed out what Femi Falana, SAN, has said about the decision by Ada JCA in Dasuki versus Director General SSS, a 2020 case. Now, the third part of it that people should pay very close attention to is that generally, as a principle, now that the matter is in court, we're not commenting about the details, is that, look, you can't just go on X or WhatsApp and write what you like. So that is what the police is trying to do, and also the other security agencies, that you can be held liable, and that there is a law in Nigeria called the Cybercrime Act. You can't incite violence, you can't abuse people, you can't just say what you like, because even that arena is governed, and there are books on cybercrime offenses and all of that. Finally, it is clear that this was not an issue about traffic, about checkpoints. Because yesterday the conversation was about checkpoint and police trying to stop him, and but now it is clear that that's not what the police is relying upon. They are relying on an issue of threat to incite, and also defining the Inspector General of Police as illegal.
Because it was quite confusing for me.
The court will look at the matter, and the court would see whether, in fact, in this particular instance, that Cybercrime Act is applicable.
You see, the truth is, yesterday when I was telling you Nigeria is cruise, you thought I was joking. So from the case of stopping you on the road that they used to, because it's the checkpoint case that they used to invite him.
Invite him, yes.
But they now veered off into Cybercrime Act. We all know that the police is fishing. So you see, when they keep coming under this Cybercrime Act, we should ask, how can we also sue them for the lies they tell using social media as a medium? Because I can bring out many articles that has been written by the police and that they had lied on, and all of that, that you have seen consistently where the police, doesn't tell the truth. Well, okay, I'm not sure you were here, are you? We're both here, Dr. Batina, when we brought that police officer from Kanu, police spokesperson, when that bombing happened, that on air here, he contradicted himself and he proved to the world that he was lying. And the world saw it. All we just did was to ask questions. So who holds them accountable? Because they are so quick. And the power they have is that they can arrest. Once they arrest you, they dispossess you of the power. Which is very sad. I'm hearing that, we need to go. But, Oji, this matter we need to... This country is fast becoming a joke.
Yeah, we will continue to highlight these.
The Federal High Court in Abuja will decide on January 30, that's today, Omoyele Showore's application for bail in a case instituted against him by the Inspector General of Police over alleged cyber-stalking. The judge gave the date after hearing the submission of counsel from both sides for and against granting the online publisher bail. Sowore's counsel urged the court to admit his client's bail owing to his being a former presidential candidate. The counsel for the Inspector General of Police urged the court to refuse Sowore's bail. He was then remanded in police custody.
I rejected the administrative bail of the police because I cannot, in good conscience, continue to participate in illegality. The courts have made it very clear that the police have no right to grant administrative bail that asks for civil servants to own, first and foremost, 100 million naira houses, which is a crime. That's corruption. To stand bail for me, who is an employer of labor. I'm a publisher of an internationally renowned news website. I have people who are hired in Nigeria and abroad. I'm not a civil servant. In fact, I'm an uncivil citizen who is against all kinds of corruption, and I've spent my entire life fighting against corruption. So to now ask me, to insult me that I should provide a level 17 director who had not, who had not gotten employment when I was fighting for democracy in 1992, to now ask the person to come and stand surety for me is the biggest insult.
Section 367 of the police regulations prohibits the filing of a charge of this nature by a police officer who is using the instrument of his office as a tool of settling personal vendetta. The said section 367 of the police regulations prohibits the IG from using his office. This is an abuse of prosecutorial powers by the police. This charge, we repeat, should never have been in the first place. And this charge must be withdrawn by the AGF. We will ensure that we raise the appropriate petitions to the office of the AGF. Section 174 of the Constitution vests in the AGF the power to prosecute and undertake all criminal prosecutions in the country in the AGF.
Well, joining us now on the show is Marshal Abubakar, Omoyele Sowore's legal counsel. Good morning and welcome on the show.
Good morning and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Well, Marshal, we just listened to you about the Sowore case with the Inspector General of Police. Well, if you could just, for the benefit of our readers, of our viewers, restate the facts of the case and what the next steps are likely to be on your side.
Well, you see, Mr. Sowore was invited via a WhatsApp message by the police, the office of the TinubuGovt for interview over a video he allegedly posted on his social media handles where he apparently, they alleged he exposed corruptions and refused to what they call obey lawful orders by policemen. In that video also, you will see, I cannot vouch for the veracity of the video, the authenticity of same, but you will see in that video that the police officer even asked Sowore to go upon recognizing the person of Mr. Sowore. Now, when we went for the interview, how the police, for the first intelligence bureau, the TinubuGovt interviewed us, and we simply asked the question that you are alleging that a crime has been committed in connection with that video. Can you tell us the nitty-gritty or the basics of that particular allegations you're making? What is the venue, even for a start, what is the venue or the location of the particular offense you alleged was committed? They could not offer an answer. So when they saw that apparently that story would not scale and that a charge on that premise would fail, they decided to dig deep by looking for some other things to charge Omoyele Sowore with. And you could see a 14-count charge was filed a day before yesterday. 16-count charge was filed a day before yesterday by the police, where they alleged that Mr. Sowore cyber-stalked the IGP by calling him an illegal IGP. Illegal IGP Ekpa should resign. I regard that particular charge as most laughable. Firstly, it's an abuse of prosecutorial powers. Secondly, in a sane society, such a charge should never hold. As a matter of fact, filing of that charge by the IGP is sufficient ground for the President and Commander-in-Chief to relieve the IGP of his office immediately. Because Section 367 of the police regulations Regulation 367 clearly prohibits any police officer from instituting a legal proceeding in matters that connects to his employment or his interest in office. That charge that was filed by the office of the IGP in his own name clearly violates these regulations. And the police cannot, no police officer can act in violation of the law that guides their proceedings or that guides their work and duties. It is also clearly a breach of Section 174 of the Constitution that vests in the AGF the power to prosecute. The IGP has simply used his office and the instruments of his office to abuse, to covet for himself prosecutorial or abusive powers of prosecution. This charge will retrace. If you see the entire 16-count charge, we are all hanged on cyberstalking the police. And mind you, they brought that particular charge under Section 24 of the 2015 Cybercrime Act and the 2024 amendments. That particular section has been amended, in so much so that using that particular section as a tool for ventilating personal vendetta or for settling personal scores has been expunged completely from the particular law. There are judgments which you've cited to them, judgments that has prohibited the police from filing charges under the Cybercrime Act to settle personal scores or personal defamation or using it as a tool to settle personal scores against individuals in Nigeria and persons in Nigeria. The police has no powers under that law to file a charge upon allegations of defamatory comments made by a Nigerian against any person, including the IGP. So that charge in the first place should never have been. But because we live in a country where we are, they just believe they can act recklessly and do things that appeals to them. It should never have been. We would ensure that upon the consideration of the bill of Mr. Sowore today, we take all necessary steps to ensure that that charge is withdrawn and that appropriate sanction is meted out to the IGP. What he has done is simply to abuse his power and his oath of office, and that should never have been allowed in a democracy like ours.
All right, I believe you can hear us. Okay, Dr. Batu, you're going to ask him a question? Or?
No, please go ahead.
All right, okay. So let's really examine this Cybercrime Act, and I'm glad that you pointed it out and how it's been misused or said to be misused, especially by the police. Only recently, in the Dele Farotimi case, it was struck out by the courts when they also, based on a petition by a private citizen, the IG of police had also charged him, had petitioned the court for using the Cybercrime Act. Now, in this case, they have also said that cybercrime, he's gone against the provisions of the Cybercrime Act. Do you think it's time for us to either do away with this act or go back to review the provisions of this act, as it has been used in many instances, as in this case, to address personal vendettas or personal infringements or challenges?
You see, it's so sad that, you see, the idea of criminalizing free speech in this part of the world is something that should never have been. The world has moved beyond these relics of colonial laws that the British introduced to this country to impugn on civil liberty and the right to freedom of speech. The entire world today, Nigeria is the only country, I think in Africa, or even in the world today, where you see that the police has made an attempt to criminalize free speech in the country. The right to speak freely includes the right to say things, including that which you find very offensive, including the right to say things which you find not appropriate, including the right to say things which you find offensive. If somebody says something to you which you do not like, the only action known in a civil society, or the only actions that is available to you, is to file a suit under the thought of defamation. But unfortunately, the Nigerian police, for whatever gains they intend to benefit from this particular Cybercrime Act, has retained the power, wrongly quoting Section 24 of the Act to include the right to criminalize free speech. globally. As a matter of fact, it has even been stated and held in several authorities and in several judgments by the court in the land that the right of Nigerians to dissent, to air their opinions on matters of public importance is a right that derives directly from the Constitution, and that the police or the government or persons that occupy public office has no right to use the instrumentalities of the Cybercrime Act to annihilate and oppress persons or the media who engage in this right to freely criticize the government or government policies.
Mr.
So
Marshall.
we strongly believe that the Cybercrime Act should be abolished completely.
Mr. Marshall, yes, and there's
so that Nigerians can freely.
Mr. Marshall, and there's a lot of talk as regards the abolition of the Cybercrime Act, because we've seen a lot of high-handedness, and that's the go-to way for the police when they want to commit their nefarious activity. We also have the case of the lady that Sowore even brought that story out to the limelight about the lady that swore for a police officer and she was kept in incarceration since God knows when. That case is another case that is ongoing now. But I want to ask you the logicality of the level of madness that goes on in this country.
Okay.
Please, maybe because, a lot of people say we are mad in this country. Maybe you can make sense of the madness. How can you bring a man in for a case of a video, and now you have gone to a Cybercrime Act, and you are saying they abuse the IG, and a court in this country even accepts that in the first place, and even accepts it for hearing? What you invited Sowore for was for a case of a challenging police officer, and in the video it was clearly stated when the police officer asked him to go. And now you change the matter to a Cybercrime Act based on his tweets that had been made since God knows when. And a court accepts that. Are we not living in a very draconian gulag now called Nigeria?
It's quite unfortunate. And you see, I strongly believe that the courts in Nigeria are also complacent in this matter. And it's quite unfortunate that the police now has strong allies in this regards with the court system, which we're part of, unfortunately. You see, abuse or cursing is not an offense. Section 36 of Section 8 and 12 of the Constitution clearly prohibits the institution of any action or criminalizing any action that does not amount to an offense or a crime at the time such a matter took place or was committed. Under the Nigerian law, vulgar abuse can never be an offense under any law. There is no law that prohibits or criminalizes vulgar abuse or even laying of curses on persons. So when you see that the Nigerian states, or the police as it is now, the institution that has been bastardized by the persons who has an interest in bastardizing it, using this instrument of states to annihilate and to punish persons who simply engage in matters that should have been instituted in a civil action for defamation of character of such persons, that is, if they have that character in the first place. When you see all of these actions taking place, all of these scripts that they are playing out now, then you know that we have a long way to go in this country. These persons are strongly bent on further desecrating and destroying the institutions of state in this country. And Nigerians have to rise up and challenge this impunity. We can no longer continue like this, where you stay in the country where the strong men, in quotes, in the country continually perpetuate themselves and use the instrument of state to oppress and to gag Nigerians. Suffering in this country today is public knowledge. Even a child born today knows that there is pervasive poverty and hunger in the land. Now, these people will decide to beat Nigerians by subjecting them to hunger, to deprivation, to inflation, to lack of basic social infrastructures. And for the few that dare to complain, they hand them in court, put them in chains, take them to prisons, and stop them from speaking. And because they have strong allies in the courts, they have some judges whom apparently are their friends. They run to this court and get injunctions and get orders to annihilate and to put these people of goodwill and character behind bars. This clearly has to stop, and Nigerians have to rise and challenge the status quo. Unless Nigerians come to the fore and take the gauntlets and seize the country and take charge of the country. The Constitution of Nigeria in Chapter 2 clearly declares the people of Nigeria as the true sovereign.
Sovereignty is derived from the people of Nigeria, from whom government, through the constitution, derives all its powers and authorities. Enough is enough in this country. We must rise up and say that this is our country. This is our common patrimony. We have nowhere else to go to except this country. And once we allow these persons to continue to perpetuate themselves in power and to abuse their oath of office and continue as unchallenged, then we are doomed in this country.
So guys, you have seen it for yourself. That's Sowore. Sowore is a fearless guy. I mean, Sowore is getting tough by the day. You can see what he's doing to the IGP. Honestly, this man's career is finished. He might not recover from what Sowore is doing to him. You can imagine. This man has been trending on Twitter, illegal IGP, that he extended his tenure by changing the dates, you know, that his tenure was supposed to expire. He changed it from 2024 to 2027. I mean, Sowore is going tough. This time around, he's not sparing Tinubu. Hey, he's not sparing Tinubu at all. So, guys, you have seen it for yourself. This is why we say people should, when you say people should be, you know, people should stick to the rule of law. You yourself should be an example. Yourself should be an example to the rule of law you want Nigerians to keep. I'm just feeling for this man because even if he leaves office today or he leaves in 2027, he has dent his image. He might end up not recovering from this, that he forged the number of years he's supposed to be in office according to what Sowore is saying. Anyway, let's see how all this is going to play out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about what Sowore is saying and what and Sowore and his group, you know, asking for this man to go, that he must go? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.